Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna apologize like I always do. Normally my husband is home when I film these, so he can kind of keep an eye on our daughter, but right now he's working, so I'm watching her. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I film in the dining room, and my daughter's playroom is literally right there, and she's playing in there right now, so I can like keep my eye on her while I'm filming this. So I want to apologize for any crazy loud sounds talking she may make during this video, but I am a stay-at-home mom, and that's just the end of it. I have a kid, she's gonna talk and be loud. So anyways, let's get right into the video. As you've already probably seen by the thumbnail, this is my 21 to 22 week pregnancy update. Now I am currently today 23 weeks pregnant, and I figured this would be a good time, and I kind of wanted to combine these 2 weeks because I knew that I was going to go to the doctor, and I wanted to kind of inform you guys on what happened at my last doctor's visit, which was yesterday, and I had an ultrasound done not yesterday, but last week. So 2 extra things to talk about. So it just made more sense for me to combine these 2 weeks than to separate them. The first symptom, that's my daughter. She'll probably be in and out of the frame, so just know that. First thing I want to talk about, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that I've been very like emotional lately, and I didn't experience that in my last pregnancy until pretty much the very end, just because I knew that this was going to be such a life-changing event. You just kind of like, holy cow, like my life is going to change the second I go into this hospital. I'm not leaving alone. And so that's where it stems from last pregnancy. But this pregnancy, I don't know what it is. I find myself being able to cry about the dumbest things, and about like the drop of a hat stuff. Like, I have felt very needy with my husband, and I'm generally not like super needy. Like, I normally, yes, I always want to be around him and be with him and spend time with him, but I don't know what it is. Lately it's been like, I've just been like, we're not spending enough time together, we're making time for each other, like just being whiny, and I don't know what it is, and I can't seem to snap out of it. I don't know why this pregnancy is different than the last. I mean, I know they say every pregnancy is different, and that may be why, but man, my emotions have just, I don't know. But he is such a trooper, and he's like always trying to put me first and think of me, you know, when doing things, just to try to ease me, especially if I'm feeling that way. But yeah, that's been something that's sort of started, I think, a few weeks ago, and it's still here, and it probably will remain until the end of the pregnancy. Who knows? The next thing that I'd like to talk about is a birth plan. And this is something that I didn't really have. I know a lot of women like having a plan, you know, in place before they go into the hospital and give birth. And last pregnancy, that's just not something that was in my mind. I knew I wanted to prepare myself for either a vaginal delivery or a C-section, and I, you know, read up on things, and I felt very prepared going into the hospital, you know, what I was in for. And of course I was still absolutely nervous, but I wasn't one of those women who needed like a step-by-step guide slash plan on what was to come the day I was to go into labor. And I think that that was beneficial to me, because I didn't, when something came about, like for instance, my daughter was born with jaundice, and when they had to put her under the Billy lights, I was devastated because I hadn't anticipated that. But it was like, you take a breath and you say, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what has to be done, and this is what my daughter needs, and this is what's best, and then you move on. And I felt that if I had put so much emphasis on a plan, that would have completely just derailed my mind. And so I'm sort of going off topic here a little bit, but what I'm trying to get at is last time I really didn't have a birth plan. This time, however, a birth plan is necessary because I already have a 14-month-old and I'm pregnant, and we're military, so we're not stationed, we're not near family, and I don't have friends here, and I don't have anyone to watch our child while I'm in the hospital and while I go into labor. And of course, that's something that my husband and I talk about, and we have spoken with his family and we've spoken with my family who live further away than us, and it's just not easy for someone to be able to come here at the drop of a hat. His family has a life, they have small children, and they can't just drop everything to come here if at 2 a.m. I go into labor. It's not gonna happen. So right now I have prepared myself mentally to go into the hospital alone, and I don't want to go too in depth on this topic because, like I just mentioned, I'm very emotional and thinking about giving birth alone is scary and saddening for me, and I feel like it shouldn't be though, because I am not the only woman in the world who will possibly give birth alone. There is millions of women who give birth alone on a day-to-day basis, and technically I won't truly be alone. I'll have a doctor there, you know, nurses will be there, hospital staff will be there, so I won't be like in a car somewhere giving birth, but you know what I mean. It just, my husband wouldn't be there, and my family wouldn't be there, and his family wouldn't be there. And that's something that I've had to come to terms with because, like I said, we're military. This is the life that we chose, and this is what happens, and it's okay. It's okay for me to be sad about that, but what's a few days in the hospital compared to the rest of my life as a mother and a wife? You know what I mean? So I try to look at things in terms of positivity versus thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be alone, I'm so scared, blah, 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 which I'm sure I will be. But if I dwell on those things, I will drive myself crazy and I will be very sad all the time. And that's not the time that you want to be sad, because that's one of the most amazing days of your life. And anyways, I'm not gonna go too in depth on this. I feel like I've been ranting for a while, and I know the light's going in and out. I'm sorry for that, but I just wanted to tell you guys that, because if you plan on watching, if I do go into labor alone, if you guys plan on watching the birth vlog, it may not be anything spectacular considering it would be my point of view, because I would be trying to vlog and give birth at the same time. So anyways, with that said, we've been thinking about a birth plan, and I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys about that as well, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I very well may have to give birth by myself, and I'm coming to terms with being prepared for that. Another thing that I've also previously mentioned is being exhausted. My exhaustion has taken over lately, and sometimes it can be like an all-day thing where I'm just so tired, and sometimes it's okay, you know what, I ran a bunch of errands today, I did a lot today, all the while taking care of my little girl, so of course I'm exhausted, and I'm creating a human. So, but it varies. Some days it's all day, some days it's just the end of the day, but that's to be expected. I experienced that last time, and so I kind of knew that that would happen. this time as well. And yeah, something that has just come about, has increased within this last week, has been heartburn. And I've mentioned this before, so I'm not gonna dwell on this as well. I had heartburn, seriously, with this little one over here. And it was terrible from like mid-pregnancy on, and it was so bad it would wake me up at night. And just within the last few days, my heartburn has increased. I've found myself taking Tums almost every day because it's so bad. And again, I kind of expected that because I had it already with her. So I had anticipated feeling the burn throughout all hours of the night, especially nighttime. And I think that's because you're lying flat, but that's when I experience it most. So in the middle of the night, I find myself going to the bathroom and taking a couple Tums. But like I said, I had already expected that to happen. Movements have been stronger, definitely stronger within the last couple weeks. And that's pretty obvious. Baby's getting bigger, less room to move around. And I feel him so much, and it's awesome. Like, I think this is gonna be my last pregnancy. I don't believe my husband and I want any more children after this. You never know, but I think this is where we're gonna stop as far as children are concerned. So with that being said, I feel like I'm enjoying these movements, and I'm trying to soak it all in almost, because I don't know if this is gonna be my last pregnancy. And if it is, I love documenting things like I'm doing right now and filming these pregnancy updates, because this is something that I can look back on as a memory and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. And anyways, I'm just trying to soak in all these little kicks and movements, because I don't know if this is gonna be the last time. And it's an awesome feeling. It's something that she have never felt. Nothing has ever compared to it. So I'm just enjoying it, basically. Like I had mentioned in the beginning of the video, I did have 2 doctor's appointments. Last week I had my 2nd trimester ultrasound. So I was 22 weeks. And just yesterday I had, well, by the time you guys are seeing this, it'll be 2 days ago, I had just my regular appointment. And during the ultrasound was when they did the anatomy scan and things like that. And that's also where they told us the sex of the baby. And we found the gender reveal. So if you haven't seen that, go watch that video. But we found out that we were having a little baby boy. And, but yeah, so after that, we just went home, obviously. And then I had an appointment yesterday where I met with the doctor, and he went over everything with me as far as the anatomy scan. And he told me that our baby is actually quite large for this early on in the pregnancy. He said that our little boy is in the 90th percentile as far as growth is concerned. So he's growing very fast. And he also said that I would have to have another ultrasound next month just to see at what pace he's actually growing. So what I'm assuming is if our baby is growing at a crazy rate, they'll obviously schedule an induction, because they obviously want baby to be safe and mom to be safe. So I'm gonna have another ultrasound, which is also exciting because I get to see him again. But I'm gonna have another ultrasound next month, and we'll find out exactly I guess at what pace he's actually growing. So the doctor told me that. So I'm measuring a little bit big, which I had already thought, but I just had attributed it to being my 2nd pregnancy. So I thought I was just big because of that. So he went over that with us, and he said that my kidneys were slightly enlarged, but he said that that's most likely due to pregnancy. But he said just to keep an eye on any pains or anything like that. If I have any pain, he, pinpointed a spot in my back. He said if I felt pain there, then I needed to basically go into the hospital. So other than that, baby's perfect, healthy. I'm healthy. And yeah, so right now the concern, I guess, is just how big baby actually is. So I'll obviously keep you guys updated on that when I have my next ultrasound next month, and that'll be probably around my 28-week mark. Some more exciting news is I will be having a baby shower, and I'm so excited because I never got to experience a baby shower with Emmalynn. We were stationed in Texas at the time, and all of our family's in Florida, and I never got, you know, the baby shower, and you know, I never got all the love and the family support like around me. Like, of course I got support, but it wasn't like in-person support, if that makes sense. And it's so exciting to be able to have that this time around, and it's so crazy. So my baby shower will be next month. It's September 30th, and I'm so excited. And I also feel guilty because, you know, obviously you register and things like that when you have a baby shower. So I registered at Walmart and Target, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I told my husband, I'm like, I feel so guilty registering for all of these gifts because I don't know, like I'm the type of person who finds it hard to accept presents, you know? Like if somebody buys me something, I'm like, oh my gosh, you did not have to do that. And every year for like my birthday and Christmas, I always tell my husband, don't get me anything. I have everything I need. I don't know, I've just always been like that. So it's been hard for me to like register for gifts for baby because I don't know, part of me feels guilty asking for presents. I don't know, it's hard to explain, and I might be the only one who feels that way, I don't know. But anyways, I'm just excited to see family and see friends and just celebrate, you know, the new family member who's coming this December. So that's gonna be super fun, and I just can't wait. When I was weighed at the doctor's office yesterday, and I think I mentioned this in a previous video, I have only gained 11 pounds and I'm 23 weeks pregnant. And yesterday at the doctor, I hadn't gained any weight either. So I'm still at the 11-pound mark right now. I haven't gained any weight in the last few weeks, and just 11 pounds in total since pregnancy. And I feel good about that. I feel so good about that because last pregnancy, girl, 60 pounds is just too much. It's too much. I was hurting so bad because my body was like, girl, you are not meant to be this big. I was 210 pounds when I gave birth to Emmalynn. Yeah, you heard that right, 210. Oh my God. And like I said, I'm gonna be filming a whole like snap back videos once I give birth and getting back down to the 140-ish range. And I'm ready to snap back. I have also had very bad headaches. You guys know if you watch my videos and my vlogs, headaches are still around. They're still kicking my butt. And I spoke to the doctor again yesterday with him about the headaches. And I had mentioned before that he had prescribed me magnesium, and he actually told me to increase the magnesium that I've been taking from 1 pill a day to 2. And so I just started doing that yesterday, but I woke up with a headache this morning, and I'm like, I feel like I'm just never gonna get relief until I give birth. And I'm still so thankful that that's the worst thing that's going on with me, because if I just have a headache, I can do that. I can power through that. But some of these women have things so bad, and they have, you know, bad medical conditions that are, you know, associated with their pregnancies, or they have horrible nausea and vomit all day. And I'm very fortunate that the worst thing is headaches, but it still sucks. But I feel very fortunate that that's the worst thing that's been going on for me. I mentioned this in my last video, and I'm gonna mention it again because it's still lingering, my stuffy nose. And I don't think that it's associated with allergies because it just happened within the last few weeks. And it's not, I don't know, it's not, I brought it up to my doctor, and he said that stuffy noses are pretty common during pregnancy. So, and a subscriber also told me that as well, and I read that on an article. So I think it's just a pregnancy thing, but it's just annoying because I feel like I'm constantly sniffling, and I do it so unconsciously now that it's like, when I watch my videos back and things, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was sniffling the whole time. So if you hear me do that, I apologize. But I've got a runny nose and I don't know how long it's gonna hang with me. I've still been extremely out of breath, and I have been for weeks, and it's gonna just get worse. And like even during this video, I don't know if you guys can tell or if you can hear it, but I'm constantly taking deep breaths because I'm just so out of breath. And that happened last pregnancy, and I think it happens to most women. Again, another super annoying thing, not the worst, but I feel that it's more annoying to somebody that I'm talking to because I'm like, you know, so anyways, that's definitely another symptom that's been stronger this week. I mentioned this in one of my vlogs, is that I have been craving fruit, and my husband will buy me like the big bag of cherries from like Sam's or, you know, the commissary or whatever, and I will literally go through that giant bag of cherries in 2 days, like if that. I've just been loving fruit. I can't get enough, and when we don't have any fruit in the house, I will call him and be like, you need to pick up some fruit, I need fruit. And I have never craved fruit this bad. Last pregnancy, I craved like complete, horrible, awful, unhealthy junk foods. And this time, all I want is fruit. So thankful for that as well. And I can't get enough. I prefer to eat fruit over something else sweet like ice cream or anything. It's so weird, it's so bizarre. And that's gonna be it for this week's update. Well, the last 2 weeks update. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe before you go to see more pregnancy updates like this one. I'm about to show you my baby bump right now. So as always, thank you for watching, and yeah, let's just show you the bump. Okay, this is my front bump. And this is my bump to the side, very big. And this is the other side.